My one and only response to Cam Newton's interview, and if you didn't see it, here's the gist. You can only be a bad bitch or a true woman if you fulfill a man's needs, okay? Let them speak, so, or you let them lead, okay? Fair enough. No, not fair enough. It's 2022, babe. Wake up. Also, you've got me messed up if you think I am doing things for a grown-ass man that he is fully capable of doing himself. I married a man, not a baby. Thank you very much. I will be a great wife someday. Believe that. But I am not at your every beck and call. You know why? Because I'm living my own life too, babe. Period. Yeah, Cam, that wasn't it. Wasn't it? Yikes.
All right, guys. So, NFL free agent quarterback Cam Newton has triggered the woke feminist, okay? And I'm telling you, they are pissed about this man's comments as he came out and said something that you can't say in 2022 as a man, okay? And that is that you prefer traditional women and that you believe in gender roles, right? That, maybe, just maybe, women should cater to their men. They should play their role, a traditional role that society accepted up until like 15 minutes ago, right? But nowadays, all women want to be empowered, and it is a sin to say anything except that women can do everything that men can do and that they should be doing everything that men can do. And because of that, you have Cam Newton getting ripped for making these comments that a whole lot of people didn't like. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the clip of Cam Newton giving his opinion on what he prefers in a woman that has upset so much of the woke feminists and the simps as well. Take a look.
I had a perfect example of what a man was in my life by my father. My parents has been together for 36, 37 years now, and it's a beautiful thing. I grew up in a 3-parent household, my mom, my father, and my grandmother. And I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Okay. A
bad bitch is a person who's just, girl, I'm a bad bitch, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
And it's a lot of women who are bad bitches. And I say bitches in a way, not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick. Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that, no, baby, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
All right, guys. So I don't know about y'all, but I didn't see anything wrong with what he just said. Okay. I think I basically 100% agree with what he said. Okay. Because if you guys haven't checked, the name of my channel, right, is Black Conservative Perspective, okay? Conservative Perspective, right, is in my channel. And what he gave there was a conservative perspective on traditional family and gender roles, right? I mean, that's what he did. Okay, now let me say this about Cam Newton before I get in this, because Cam Newton is a very misunderstood guy, right? I think I understand more about Cam than most people do because I'm a Panthers fan. And Cam Newton was our quarterback for a while, okay? So I know a whole lot about him. I know his background. I know his come up. And this dude has come up in a very traditional household, right? His father was a preacher, married for 30-some years, like he said. Like, he grew up in a very traditional household, okay? So I'm not surprised by the things that he's saying because I grew up in a very similar way in which my parents have been married for 20-some years, and I lived in a household where my mom cooked, she cleaned, she also worked as well too, but she definitely knew her role as a woman in regards to catering to my father, okay? And my father just worked all the time. He did what he did as a man. He was a provider, protector, right? And a preacher at times, right? When he needed to be, okay? That is the man's role. And because I grew up watching that, I saw how that functioned and how successful that model has been for me personally, as a person, in terms of my personal development, my maturity, my understanding of life, and what I want out of my own family. Okay? It's affected my political philosophy, the things I talk to you guys about. Okay? Why I believe the things I believe is because of how I grew up and what I've observed. And one of the things that I can say definitively is that the traditional family model, okay, that embraces gender roles, is the most successful way to have a family in this country. It just is, right? I truly believe in it, right? But again, what really bothers me about this is not even the woke feminists getting upset about it, because they're expected to get upset about it. What really bothers me is the simps, right, that come to the defense of the woke feminists because they don't want to be seen as sexist.
In the end, what it comes down to is this. You don't disrespect the woman by sitting there and talking about them like that.
Yeah.
And then generalizing that way. Now, some people look and they'll say, Stephen A., you've had your issues in the past where you said this, with, Steph Curry, Aisha Curry from years ago. I will remind people, I wasn't talking about gender. I'm talking about the role somebody plays. If somebody's in the public eye and you're not in the public eye, be careful about what you say, because it could be a reflection on them. Same with Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. That's all. But I misspoke.
Yeah, and you learn from it.
And you learn from it and you go forward.
Exactly.
The point that I'm making is that in the end, if you're Cam Newton, just in 2017, you said it was funny when a female reporter asked you about running routes, and literally said, it's funny that a female is asking about running routes, as if she had no place covering football. When you come across this antiquated, and you were guilty of that in 2017, and you follow that up 5 years later in 2022, what you have shown is that you haven't evolved, you haven't educated yourself, you haven't changed, and you're not appreciating women the way that you do. As a black man, I haven't scratched the surface of my potential yet as far as I'm concerned, because I'm not married.
Yep.
The second that you know without a shadow of a doubt that you have the right woman by your side,
you're stronger together, you're better
your
together. That's the
potential
goal.
elevates exponentially.
Yeah.
And Cam Newton doesn't seem to know that yet. It's not a reason to excoriate him.
Yeah.
It's a reason actually to feel sad and say, brother, we want to help you get over to this place, because right now you are as antiquated as it comes.
Exactly. That's the word I would use. Disrespectful, antiquated. And the other thing I'll say is he's a free agent, so it's also ill-advised if you're trying to get paid as well.
Yeah, so Stephen A is simp, right? This is simping at its finest, okay? He's sitting at the table having a conversation with Molly Karam, who had a successful marriage for maybe 3 years with Jalen Rose, okay? She don't know nothing about a successful marriage, and she's divorced because she's not a traditional woman, right? Traditional women are winning out here when it comes to longevity of marriages, and the women that are not are the ones like, again, Molly Karam, who found Cam Newton's comments to be so disrespectful and antiquated, which Stephen A. Smith claims he agrees with, but he really actually doesn't, right? He's really just afraid of being called sexist. He's playing his role as the simp of First Take, okay? Because he actually referenced something, a situation in which he got himself into some hot water and was called sexist at the time, even though he was right about what he was saying. And it goes back to the point that Cam Newton was making about a woman knowing when to be quiet, right? Knowing when not to speak, okay? Again, people find that controversial, but this is a great example of the dangers of this type of stuff. Aisha Curry, this is what he's talking about. During the NBA Finals, that year when the Cavaliers beat the Warriors in the finals, when the Warriors were expected to basically blow out the Cavaliers, they beat them in an upset. Aisha had an outburst in which she claimed that the finals was rigged, that the NBA is rigged. Okay, and Stephen A was like, you can't say that out loud. As Steph Curry's wife, you can't say that, right? And he supported his argument by referencing LeBron James's wife and saying that LeBron James's wife, Savannah James, would never say anything like that out loud. She would never say that, okay? Because she knows her role. Now, again, at the time, Stephen A. Smith was criticized as a sexist for that, right? He had to walk back those comments. Okay, just like he basically referenced in this video and he alluded to is that, hey, well, I was wrong, blah, blah. No, you weren't wrong. Because just a few years later, Aisha Curry, the same person that Stephen A. recommended at the time to be quiet in certain situations, okay, not to speak on certain things or to say certain things, she came out and made statements that basically embarrassed her husband, in which she said that she wished that she got more male attention from other men outside of Steph Curry. Okay, she don't like the fact that she doesn't receive male attention in public as a married woman. Basically alluding to the fact that she's probably not happy with her marriage in regards to the attention that her husband is giving her, right? That he might not necessarily be satisfying her in the way that she wants to be satisfied. Again, that is embarrassing for Steph Curry, right? That signals that they have some issues in their relationship. She went and said that to the public, right? Now, if she would have took Stephen A. Smith's advice, okay, and not speak, okay, on certain things and certain topics, she would have said that. Steph Curry wouldn't have got embarrassed like that. Because our society is so soft and they don't want to hear the truth. They don't like the way it sounds when you say stuff like that. But there's a reason why it's like that. Because as Steph Curry's wife, right, in that situation, her job is to support him. He's the breadwinner. He's making millions of dollars and supporting her and their kids, okay? And as the wife, she has to do whatever she can to support him in a way that's going to enable him to continue to do that, right? At the maximum level, at the best level. The same thing that Stephen A. Smith was basically saying about having a good wife and a good woman. A part of that, again, is knowing when to speak and when not to speak. Because in that situation, again, with Ayesha Curry and Steph Curry, Ayesha Curry could have ruined Steph Curry's career, making comments that she believes that the NBA is rigged, okay? Embarrassing her man by basically saying that I wish other men would look at me, would give me attention. Ayesha Curry's whole relevance and brand is based off her husband. And because she can't close her mouth, right, and watch what she says, she basically was on the cusp of ruining her husband's brand and career, right? Embarrassing her husband. So again, Cam Newton as a professional athlete, you know, you can see why he would want a woman that knows when to be silent, right? That's why he's saying those things. That doesn't necessarily mean all women should be silent. That's not what I'm saying, right? But I'm saying in the function of a marriage and a relationship where there's give and take, where the role of the woman is to support the man and to help maximize the man's potential, yes, silence is important in certain issues, especially when you're dealing with professional athletes, your husband who is a public figure, okay, that has a brand, right, that can be ruined by the things that you say, right, as a wife. And I guarantee you, Stephen A. Simp, as much as he up here simping in front of Molly Karam, if he ever gets a wife, I guarantee you he wouldn't tolerate her speaking when she's not supposed to speak, okay, saying things that she's not supposed to say. He wouldn't tolerate that because he's a public figure with a brand to protect. Same thing as Cam Newton. That's why he desires that. That's why he desires a woman that cooks, that cleans, because he's the primary breadwinner. He plays his role. She plays her role. He doesn't necessarily need a woman that goes out there and works and has a job and helps provide. He don't need that. And this man got 7 kids, right? So I would hope that he would learn from knocking up strippers and Instagram models, right, what he actually really wants in a woman, okay? Because even though he grew up in a traditional household and he saw his mom be what a woman should be, the woman that he claims he wants now, he made some sketchy decisions, right, in regards to the women he chose to knock up. But hey, who knows? Maybe they could have showed traits of being traditional women, even though, you know, they were strippers and Instagram models. Who knows? I'm just saying, at the end of the day, when it comes to relationships and gender roles, people have their own preferences. And it is not sexist to say that I want a traditional woman that does traditional things because I'm a traditional man that wants to do traditional man things. And a traditional woman is there to support a traditional man. There's nothing wrong with that. There are plenty of women that like that role. They want to play that role. Now, if there are women that want to go out there and work, you know, be CEOs, start businesses, do their own thing, I have no problems with that. I support that. I'm cool with that, right? And there's a lot of men out there that want that. That's what they desire from their woman, is to make money and to, you know, do her thing or whatever, or to take on a more masculine role. There's simps out there, men that want that. Okay, that's fine if that's what they want. Again, I got questions about how that relationship is going to work out. I think it's a nightmare. But hey, if that's what they want, that's what they want. There's not very many people out there that are that antiquated that don't believe women should work at all, that they can't do this, they can't do that. But I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with a man that wants something traditional. Nothing wrong with that. And it's funny to me because Cam Newton, at one point in his interview, he also criticized men. He said men need to be better. Men need to be better men. But that is not what the media is highlighting. Nobody's upset about that, because criticizing men that don't do enough, that don't provide, that don't protect, that don't preach. Oh, criticizing those people. Oh, that's no big deal, right? Men empowerment is fine. Okay. Just like when Kevin Samuels, when he was doing the whole men empowerment thing, that was his thing when he first started off his channel. He was trying to make men better. So when he was out here telling men that you're fat, okay, you're broke, you got a small penis, you ain't got no ambition. When he was out there telling that to men, that was funny, right? Everybody was laughing. Oh, ha, 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 ha. Kevin Samuels telling this man how to be a man, right? Including women were laughing. But as soon as he was telling women how to be better women, he's a sexist, right? Particularly black women got upset about it. He's a sexist bigot. Try to cancel the guy. Try to cancel him. And this is the same thing happened with Cam Newton. In that same interview, he criticized men. Crickets. The only part they clip out is the part in which he's saying, I have a preference for the type of woman I want. I want a traditional woman. And now all of a sudden he's a sexist. When he's just stating things that a lot of men in the society desire. That's what they want. And there's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't make you sexist, doesn't make you antiquated. It just means that that's what you want. That's your preference. Period. Again, I find it fascinating what people choose to get upset about, what they don't choose to get upset about. Okay, in regards to these conversations about the roles of men and women. Again, nobody has problems with telling a man how to be a better man. Okay, if you're a sorry man, there's nothing wrong with that, saying whatever you need to say to make that man better. But to tell a woman, how to be what a man wants out of a woman, oh, that's sexist, right? That's sexist, okay? So hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.